Hi, Becky.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
I learned you didn't have a library meeting today.
Yeah, I learned that. Jeff and I both learned that. Well, actually, I learned it, I think, first and then let Jeff know. Yeah, at 12:04, I got an email from Mary Ann.
Oh, nice.
I
Yep,
was
yep.
wondering, she's always, early. So I was surprised that, it said host hasn't started the meeting yet. And I'm going, hmm. So I thought I was going to send her an email and then I saw the email.
Yeah, she forgot to cancel
Yeah,
it and she
right.
put the other one. It happens.
It's cool. It gives us, we just the those documents. I mean, I don't know that I'll be able to. The specs are 1,225 pages. The drawings are 100 and some. I mean, the drawings, like because the
Can't we just pay
specs,
him by the pound?
the specs are just too involved. I mean, for me, it's like plus, flipping through all that on the screen.
Yeah. No, yeah, if you don't have it printed out, and who's going to print that out?
Right.
Oh my goodness. Well, um,
I don't think Jeff is going to be at the meeting tonight. He has to pick his wife up in Boston at the airport.
oh my goodness.
She's flying back from New Zealand.
Oh, how wonderful. Do they
First, I
have one of their children is in New Zealand?
I think so. So first she has a 14-hour flight from wherever in New Zealand to I think Dallas airport, and then a 4 or 5 hour layover, and then a flight, 4 hour flight to Boston.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a day.
Yeah, a long day. I've
Yeah,
never I've never gone further than, to Europe or across the country. And
I flew at 14, I flew from New York to London to New Delhi, but I had a layover in London for a night
for a
and
night.
um, but it was a long haul. I read 3 books. Yeah, it's a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, that's if you take something to do,
yeah.
something that you like, right, reading those 3 books, you wouldn't have read those 3 books, right?
Well, probably not in that time span.
Right.
Yeah. No, it was my son's a pilot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was until he's becoming, well, he's was doing international flying for this last year. It was to Europe and California, and yeah, yeah, he saw all the most beautiful places. It's pretty exciting because they'd have layovers for about a day and a half,
Right.
but
Does he fly for one of the airlines or private
yeah, he
jets or
flies for Delta.
cool?
Yeah, yeah. He used to be in the Air Force. He was flying C-130s in, yeah, he was in Afghanistan last. Some pretty intensive duty, but now it's more leisure,
Yeah.
leisure flying.
So what's he think about all these issues with the Boeing plane?
Well, he hasn't been flying Boeings. He
So
flies Airbus. Um, so he's not feeling too worried about it right now.
yeah.
But he used to fly American Eagle, and but I think the one he flew was a French plane. I don't think it was, I'm not sure if that one was Boeing, but he's flown for, he's been flying for about 20 years from different, he started at Cape Air.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So at Cape Air, that go out to the islands?
Yeah, Cape Air, they do, Boston to the islands, New York. Yeah, it's all out of Boston, I think. But they have relationships with everyone who flies into Boston. And then they fly the Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
They do the islands down there. And so Sam did a winter in Puerto Rico too, um, which was
Well, we
really
have some friends on the other side of the lake who go to Culebra.
oh,
It's one of the Puerto Rican islands.
cool.
So they'll fly, to into Puerto Rico, and then I think they have to. I think they have to then take a bus or something to the smaller airport. I could be wrong,
I
but
bet that's
catch the
right. Because
smaller plane.
yeah, that was probably Cape Air.
Yeah, I had when I was still in architecture school, I worked up on Nantucket a couple of summers, and I would fly to Boston, and then I think they were nine seaters.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
that
I
was
think it was
that
Sam.
was really great.
Yeah, that's what he was flying. And it was fun because it was like the same plane he used to watch the TV show about when he was,
Huh, cool.
like 9 or 10. Yeah.
I like those because you really feel like you're flying. I mean, when you're on a jet, I mean, there's that experience, but it's just like, I mean, there's takeoff and landing, and otherwise, except for turbulence,
Yeah.
which, based on some of the things we've been reading, can be pretty severe nowadays. You just felt like you were in your living room,
Yeah. Yeah.
except for being squished in.
I'm starting to get a little nervous where everybody is.
Yeah.
Frank. Oh, did Frank say he's not coming?
Um, I didn't hear that.
I just remembered an email and I'm not sure what it said, so I'm looking it up. Um,
Yeah, I don't have anything from him.
okay. Yeah.
Well,
All
that'll
right.
be odd.
He
Oh,
shared the minutes.
oh yeah, he did that yesterday.
That's all I saw, I guess.
Yeah, he sent it, for our special meeting and then the meeting before that. I don't know if I was talking about this today when we were at the school, but um, in the bid docs, the detail for covering the fascia with the additional PVC,
Yeah.
it's like individual pieces, be at least two, maybe three, based on what Gail shows. And I started thinking about it, and the fascia in some places is a little cupped, and it's not perfect. So can you picture that?
I'm having trouble. So you mean it's not flat, like it's
Right. The
more,
boards, the boards that are up there, some of them have warped. They're kind of cupped. So they
yeah,
have, like a high spot, a low spot, and then a high spot. And so I was thinking, when you put boards on top, they're not they're not going to flatten that. And when two pieces uh, come together like this, it's possible that they won't be perfectly aligned. And if the one that's down lower is out like this, then,
it'll
it's just,
cause it to it'll bump it out and
well, could be, ultimately a way for water leakage to occur. So I was thinking about this last night, and I went online and just quickly looked, and you can buy the material in sheets. So it could then be cut so there's just one piece. Hi, Frank.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Frank.
Good.
There's still not a quorum of your committee. We're
Right.
looking
We need
at
we need one more person.
Steve. I have a
Did you
feeling.
get a text message from me, Becky?
Oh, I was just earlier I said I wasn't sure if I got a message from Frank and I was looking on.
Jeff's not going to be here because he's picking his wife up at the airport in Boston.
Are you 3708 or is that your home number, your office number?
That's my cell phone. It's 387
Yeah, okay.
3708. I'm not seeing it.
Okay. No, I did it on the fly when I was driving, so it said delivered, but
No, I'm trying to see if anything's there. Shoot.
I tried another one. So anyway, I'm here. I was running late. I apologize.
Well, no problem. We have,
Did you go to the meeting this morning? I was at another meeting
yes, Jeff
myself.
and I went, and
And I went to,
yeah,
Oh,
there were three contractors came,
oh, good.
and last time only two came for the roof, so
Yep.
that's good. So
and we got 7 or 8 bids
last time,
last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
so I was starting to explain, Frank, that it occurred to me, I think just last night, that in the bid docs, the detail that Gail shows for covering the rest of the fascia with the solid dimensional plastic trim, they
Mhm.
show it as several pieces, 2 or maybe 3. And it occurred to me that, the fascia, the existing fascia is, some of it's kind of cupped a little bit.
Yep.
So depending on where the joint occurs, the two pieces aren't going to be, quite probably won't be perfectly flush with each other.
Mhm.
So, I quickly went online and just found one source, and I'm sure there are more. You can get it in sheets. So, and my thought is to change to getting it in sheets and then cutting it, ripping it to the exact dimension that
So
you need.
you're talking about the PVC, correct?
The PVC for the fascia.
Right. Yeah. It comes in two. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great idea. It's gonna be a
So
little more money, but
I think in the end, one, I think it's going to look better, and
yep.
there'll be less seams and joints. You only have, you'll have a, if it comes in, let's see, it'd be 96, 8 feet,
Yeah.
then you have a vertical joint, and if you use a filler in there, it's not going to be readily seen. But I think horizontal joints, I think they would be all over the
Perfect.
place.
Yeah, we'll look
And
into that. Sounds good.
I
I know
just
Anna Cook is not meeting tonight because I looking at the last minutes I sent you all. Anna had a
Yeah,
conflict.
she had a conflict, right? That's what I was
right,
thinking. Steve was working on Lotto 32 drilling the well. He just texted he's leaving. He said, "Yes, I just left Lotto 32." So he's on his way.
great.
So y'all still have a meeting. But we do have to end by 6:30.
Right. We can.
Okay. Well,
I've been trying to get them to meet on a different night, but it keeps defaulting back. It was either going to be this one or 2 weeks from now, but they ended up doing this one.
Oh, so can you screen share with me? I can
Yeah,
show
yeah.
you a couple photos. I went down the other day and took a close look at the dam keeper's roof, what's left of it.
Not much.
So let's see. Now I'm now co-host, and if I want to bring up photos, what do I do?
You find your photos on your computer, put it on your screen, and then share.
yeah, bring up your photos.
Well, how do I reduce you guys a little bit?
You can just shove us to the side, just shove us all the way over so you can see. Because we'll still see you. Just move your whole screen
Mhm.
and then bring up what you need. And then you have to move the screen
Okay,
back so you can find screen share, which is in the middle at the bottom of the Zoom.
There we go. Now let's see. Where's photos? Oh, duh.
This makes me so happy because it didn't come naturally to me at all.
And now you're teaching.
I think it can be easier with a larger screen.
Well, I'm on a full size,
Oh, good.
but now you gave me the co-host thing. Now where did it go?
So all you need, now that you're co-host, if you look at the bottom of the Zoom screen, in the middle, you'll find a green share screen icon.
Okay, I
And you
need to.
just press that and it'll grab your document. Then you can choose which document you want it to grab.
Wait a minute. I've got the Zoom screen up here, but I don't.
At the bottom, the menu bar, it has end, bright red at the right and a microphone at the left, and right in the middle is the share screen icon.
Oh,
It says green, it's green too.
share screen. That's pretty clear.
And just click on the picture. There we go.
See that?
Woohoo!
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
There are several others that are pretty much the same. You know, my first thought was, well, maybe, you know, could do a simple little repair somewhere to just temporarily take care of it. But those shingles are so ratty that I'd be afraid to get up on them.
Right.
So now let me get another photo. There's this second one is just these two are say the road side. This is from the ridge. On the right is the lake side.
Yep.
And then this was the photo I thought, oh, how are we going to get a scaffold to work off of on here? So I called Russ today and we had a chat and he already suggested a way that might work. And then I asked him if he would be willing to help out on this. And he said yes. So, you know, I think we could probably, you know, with his help, do this ourselves. So I guess, Becky, do you want to interface with Concom?
Okay.
And you know, if they want to have a visit and we can talk about how we will protect. Now, Jeff brought up that the felt paper could contain asbestos.
I think that it was in the paper. Yeah, we've had that issue before.
So, you know, in Maryland, if you had, there was a period where they made roof shingles out of cement asbestos. And, you know, the protocol for removing them was nothing like, say, removing friable asbestos. But I don't know what Massachusetts has to say. I mean, the felt paper, you know, it would be, assuming there's asbestos in there, it's integrated into the material. So it's not like, you know, if you take the shingles off and the felt paper, all of a sudden asbestos is flying around.
Right. It's resident in the paper.
Yeah. It's sort of like, it's somewhat similar to the vinyl asbestos floor tile.
But when the vinyl asbestos floor tile breaks,
Yeah.
that's when they say when it breaks, there's a bit of a release, right?
I think if you just break it like that, snap it, I can't imagine that there's any release. You'd have to like take a belt sander to it.
I'd like to hear what Anna Cook has to say because she
Yeah.
does new and old construction, and because she's the one who came up with 100 square feet or whatever, and it'd be a $10,000 job. It'd be great to do on our own. I wouldn't want to find out after the fact that someone complained about.
Well, I think I can find out, I can get a quote from Atlas that we've used on these jobs, even the old cinder block building at the fire station, at Lotto 32. I had Atlas come in and test for asbestos before we took anything down, and I'll get a quote from them, hopefully on a tiny space like this that won't be $1,500 like they usually charge.
If, could we quote, gather the sample?
I don't know, they do their own I mean, that's.
Okay, they wouldn't,
Yeah,
because
No, they
some
wouldn't.
labs, you can bring them material and have them analyze it.
yeah.
Because the shingles are in such crappy shape at the lower corner, could take a piece of shingle off and a piece of felt paper.
Yeah. Well, I think, yeah, I don't know when it was last roofed, shingled. I don't have a date on that one. I know it was last painted around 15 years ago, 13 years ago.
Well, I saw when I was finishing up looking at the roof, Howie Kinder was driving by, and I talked with him, and he was saying how he didn't think they were that old, but they're the felt-based shingles. It's not a felt and fiberglass mat, and unless somebody had those lying around, they haven't been using those for quite a long time, and they only have like a 15 to 18 year average life. So, given their condition, I'd say they're well past 25.
Yeah.
Hey,
As
Steve.
soon as Steve
He's
identifies
on.
himself
Oh.
and call our meeting to order. He's
As
still
soon-
muted. Oh, there we go.
Hi.
Hi,
Hey,
Steve.
Steve.
Okay.
We gave you at least 60 seconds to transition.
Right.
Thank
You
you.
good to go there?
I'm good.
All right. So I call this meeting to order at 5:51. We have Frank McGinn, Steve Sullivan, Rebecca Torres, and myself, Stephen Dalmas, attending. So the first thing is to review the minutes from January the 24th. I made some changes, and then after the visit to the school today, I made a few corrections to some of the things I had changed. And everyone has had a chance to go through those.
Yep.
Do I hear any comments? Hearing none. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes from February the 21st?
I motion we accept the minutes, the 20.
First, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? McGinn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Aye.
Dalmas, aye. And then the minutes from February the 28th are brief special meeting to approve the bid docs. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
I motion we approve those minutes.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor? McGinn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Sullivan, aye.
Dalmas, aye. Thank you. Okay. So number 2 I have on here is discuss the results of the meeting with capital planning. This is more to talk about passing on the spreadsheets. And Frank, I forgot to tell you that I went back and I opened up that photo that wouldn't focus.
Yeah.
And then if I clicked on the unfocused photo, then became a focus photo with a black background all around it.
Oh, okay. It's you've got to set up in your computer, Stephen. So
But then, have you, but the other thing I can't do right now, and I don't know if you can do this with yours, when you go to that area where it says photos and work performed, where you have I forget what you call it, the information,
hyperlink.
the hyperlink, can you then add a comment like
I
about,
haven't played with that in a little bit.
okay,
Yeah,
so I guess my question is, do we want to hold off on including photos until we get that worked out? And then the second question is, um, with currently the way my computer is working is if I look at the photo and then I close it, I have to then reopen the spreadsheet. It doesn't take me back to where I
okay.
was.
Yeah, mine opens in a different window, so it's just a setup, and
Okay,
it will be different on. We're both Apple oriented, Mac oriented, and then people will be opening up with uh, Windows, Microsoft Windows, and that also opens up in another screen. I tested that. I think all I want to do with the pictures is not put a lot, but put I would take one of your pictures that you showed us today if you want to put it up on the screen for Steve to see. Take maybe 5 photos. That's all. Add 5 photos of major things on 5 different buildings, so that if when they'll look at all the red, right, and they see, we want this done, and if
right.
they want, they'll click on just to show what we're doing, and it's
Mhm.
not so, and just to give them a thing, and then we'll say in your letter, you'll say, and this is an ongoing process, and we're constantly adding it, and we might have to add a comment window to the right. We don't have to tell them that, but they're just going to be receiving a PDF piece of paper that will have a highlighted blue hyperlink, Stephen. And if
Mhm.
they want to click on it, they will, and it'll show a picture. And
Okay,
my guess is a lot of people are going to look at this, and we're going to give them all the pages. I like that we talked about that last meeting.
right.
Give them all
Yeah,
the pages, and they might not get through them all, but
right.
but if they do, and you've got a few people that want to see something, I think it says 1,000 words, and we'll really luck out. But if we pick 5 really good pictures, like the roof on the dam keeper's house that we wanted 10,000. Go off of that list that you sent them originally, and we'll
Okay,
try to find a good one picture for everything of that list. I think that will say more for what we want to do going forward, and people can figure out the picture thing on their own. Some are more savvy than others, and but mine is, I open mine, it opens up in a separate window.
okay, okay. So I need to get you more photos.
When you have that original list that you gave capital planning with the
Right.
monies, I'd
Yeah,
take 5, 6 projects, put the Howard's roof on there.
this
Steve,
one.
on last Saturday, I was listening to the Lake Wyola uh, LWAC committee, and Howard brought up, is there anything we can do to the roof? It leaked so much it froze on the
Right.
turning things this winter. And he goes, can we hire someone? And they started talking, and all of a sudden Eric Stalker said, we have Frank McGinn. He's on the buildings committee. Why don't we ask him? And I raised my hand, and I mentioned that, yes, we're trying to get $10,000. We're trying to get appropriations from the capital plan to do this roof. We haven't forgotten about you. And it was kind of funny. And Eric said, this is the fastest I've seen this government work. Imagine that. We're talking on a Saturday, and he's going to bring it up on a Wednesday, and there we are, off and running.
Right.
So,
The wheels of government are turning more quickly.
yes. So 5 to 7 pictures, Stephen. And then we can start getting this over to them, and go forward with that.
Okay. And I'm working on a introductory kind of letter that would go with that. So maybe at the next meeting,
Right.
before then, I'll get the photos to you and I can send everybody the letter and we can review that, and then maybe that could be sent to them.
Right. And then we'll have we'll show them what we're doing. So that'd be great.
Actually, I was looking, I mean, it was good we talked about that, but I was looking at the minutes from February the 21st, and I'm going, wait a minute, I thought I had something else on. So back to my agenda.
Yeah.
So the bid docs for the Shutesbury Elementary School. So today, Jeff and I were at the 9 o'clock meeting with Cole from Gale Associates, and there were 3 contractors there. And we went around and we looked at everything. And Steve Sullivan, when the last night I had thought about the bid doc and the how Gale has spec'd the fascia replacement, which is going to be the solid PVC. They show it in, I think they show it as like 1x6 pieces, or maybe one, I think 1x6, but it would be minimally 2, maybe even 3 pieces. And it occurred to me that, you know, those 3 pieces running horizontally, that the joints between them, those horizontal joints, are going to probably not align perfectly. I would say it's probably going to be, it would be, you know, luck if they all did. So I did a very quick bit of online research, and you can get the PVC in sheets. And my thought is that rather than individual pieces, that they get sheets and they rip it to the dimension that's needed, so that it's one single piece from below the drip edge of the piece that's already there down to fully
Mhm.
cover the fascia. And
But what about the ends?
when you say the ends,
Well, is there ever, when you get to the, I guess it's only at the corners or something, the end of the board, the end of the
Of course,
PVC,
yeah.
or the end of the old trim that is being covered in PVC, would you wrap it like a package or something to cover the end of the board?
um,
I think they do that at a 45.
well, it's, let's put it this way, Becky. If we did it in several single pieces, and you had a corner, you're going to have to deal with it in a similar fashion. And again, if it's a solid piece, it's just one solid piece. But I mean, like, I can think of one corner when you come in. Let's see, that would be the north wall at the east end. I can remember from today where the fascia comes across and just stops. So there's, we'll say, end grain. So that's all you'll see is you'll have, quote, end grain of the solid plastic.
Okay,
I don't think there's any issue there.
so
Um,
are you saying to use the PVC and then the PVC sheet on top of it? No.
No, I'm saying that the PVC, the PVC sheet will be what covers the existing wood fascia.
Okay,
It's not PVC over PVC.
okay.
It's using the solid sheet cut to the right width instead of individual pieces,
Mhm.
which
But
will probably, it'll be less joints. And I think filling the joints, especially, you know, the horizontal joints, if we put up strips, would take more time, you know, and any cost savings, if there is, in using individual pieces, I think would be spent filling the joints.
So is this an amendment you want to make?
Well, yes, because, yeah, and Cole asked, sent me, I think he sent us all an email this afternoon, and he then asked me if we want to make that change
Okay,
to the solid. So I think that What are your thoughts on that, Frank?
I think it's a good idea, but before we make a change, we have to ask what the cost differential is going to be. And the only reason why I asked that, Stephen, is years ago when this PVC exterior wood came on, we did a little addition at a second floor addition at the office building. And they ordered all the 12-inch planks or 8-inch planks for all the PVC trim on the outside. And under one of the stairs, they needed a 4x8 sheet, in which they didn't use. And I was surprised it came in at like $480 for that one sheet. So I don't know how expensive that is. In other words, if it's 4x8, and they rip it down, I'd like to know how much that costs before we vote on this, because it could add a substantial amount to the cost. And I don't want to come back and say, oh yeah, it's $10,000 more for VC one without the joints. They might save some on labor, but the cost is there. So I just remember a 4x8 sheet, 1/2 inch thick, 15 years ago was $480. I'm sure the price has come down. I don't know. But that's my only concern on something like that.
But
Well,
how do you, if it's a 1/2 inch thick, I'm sorry.
3/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah, if it's 3/4, how are we going to, what is that going to add? The PVC is, in other words, if PVC in our bid right now is, I don't know, $4 a square foot for 3/4, and if the manufacturer says, I don't care if you get it in 6-inch, 8-inch, 12-inch, or 24, 48, it's the same price. It's just the labor of cutting it, and then they save on the jointing. But I want to know what the cost is. That's before we vote on this. If it's going to change the cost significantly.
Well, how much would be significant?
So if it was twice the price, I don't know how much. What is the total square footage that we're adding to? I don't have the plans in front of me. What is the total square footage? Do we have with this, and what would the cost differential be? Cole should be able to answer that. They're in, they do this all the time, but I'd just like to be informed before we vote on this.
And how do you apply it? Do you glue it?
Screw it.
But if
You mean,
you're
how do you attach
you're
it
putting
to,
holes in it.
how do you attach it to the existing material? There are fasteners for it, and then the holes are filled before it's painted. That's what they did with what they put up already.
Yeah.
But they didn't use sheets.
No, because
They used 8-inch planks or something like that, or 12-inch planks. So very similar thing.
Well, several thoughts. One, I think that, my opinion, even if there is a cost to it, in the long run, in appearance and potential leakage, that's my big concern, that if a lower board sits forward of the one above it, and then the seal fails, water's getting behind.
Mhm.
So I think, performance is probably number one. And then number two, I think, is also aesthetic. And if there's some additional cost, I think in the end it would be worth it. Wondering, can Cole put it in? I mean, I can email him and ask him if he could give us what he thinks would be the difference in cost in doing that. But can he put it in there as like asking for with those two as like option one, option two? Is that a
Yeah, I think they can
possibility?
I think they can do that. Yeah.
We definitely could have done that originally, so I think an amendment could add it.
Right.
Okay, so that they could give us a price for doing it one way and doing it the other.
Yep.
Okay. Would you be comfortable with that, Frank, if that's
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there? Okay, because I think he would like an answer, and if I can give him that answer tomorrow, then he can put that in there so that people will then bid it.
Mhm. That sounds good.
Okay, so do I hear a motion that we add to the bid docs for the Shutesbury Elementary School project that the PVC that will be installed to cover the fascia is from sheet material so that there are single pieces running from the drip edge of the already installed PVC down to, I don't know if it's a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch below the edge of the existing soffit, the existing fascia, as
Mhm.
shown in the drawings that Gail has done
As an alternate bid,
as an alternate bid. Yes.
I motion to what you just said.
Okay. Second,
I will second it as an alternate.
okay. And all in favor, McGinn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Sullivan, I.
Dalmas, aye. Great. I will let Cole know that we would like that added as a alternate bid. Okay. Number 3, Frank more recently told me that I think were you at is it the Historic Commission? And they were talking about the repairs needed at Schoolhouse number 2,
Yes.
and that they were talking about doing that themselves, if I remember
Yes.
what you said.
Going out and and taking bids and hiring. Yes.
Yeah.
I
So,
didn't go to the last meeting, so I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
so
What are they getting bids for?
You know, the rotting on the sides,
each side of the door going into the building, and then on the northwest corner, the corner boards are all rotted.
well, my thought is it's our charge. They can do all the legwork, but we should okay it. That was my initial thought. If they want to do this, and because it's
And
what so-called historical
what
things,
money are they using?
that's the other thing. I think they have money. They think they have money, so I don't know.
Well, they've committed all their money.
To
They've
the
all their money to the Berkshire project, I think.
okay, so very good question.
So it sounds like we need to talk to somebody on their committee and see what they're thinking. Is
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess so. The question, assuming they had the money, does the building committee, as Frank said, essentially have kind of get final approval on how they're going to do it, or do
I
we?
think they should. I know, yeah. I, that would be, I think maybe I can send them an email and recommend that they bring their project to you guys to
That would be
talk
good.
about.
That'd be nice, neutral.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so you'll do that, Becky.
Awesome.
I can tell you that the tree warden goes crazy every time he drives by that schoolhouse because of all those pines are just getting taller and bigger. But according to Leslie, none of them are on town property.
Right, they're all on the neighbor's
We
property.
have a less than like a 50 by 50 lot there. But it drives me cuckoo.
But someone at that committee, they were talking about that, and I'd have to go back to listen to the Zoom again, the on YouTube, whatever. They were talking about trees and something else, and they said that neighbor is a historical person type thing and wouldn't mind if some things got trimmed or something. I don't remember, but I was impressed to hear that they know the neighbor who owns because they know about the lot size
I'll email them then and ask.
as the tree warden, because they're, be nice to, if we,
So that's
get it.
Karen Tarlow, right?
See if they've had any talkings. Yeah.
Steve, you have plenty of money in your budget to do that, right?
Yeah, I have over $7,000. I didn't know that it had been encumbered from last year, so yes, I have plenty.
But I
Yeah.
don't know if we're allowed to. Yeah, it's on private property.
Well,
The
I
benefit.
don't know how many, I don't know how
town
many you'd have to
building.
take down, but I do know that when I was in Providence, the base trunk of a tree was on my neighbor's property and the whole sucker was leaning over my property. And the city said, your property line straight up,
Yeah, air rights.
air rights. And that's, you do whatever you want to that tree, because the neighbor didn't want me doing anything. I was like, okay. I don't know how much of the air rights we have on this, but I know it's right up against it. So that might be an argument, Becky, to say, yeah, we've got air rights and we're going to be trimming and doing all this. And the owner agreed to help out maybe a little, and we'll take the trees back a little and get a few of your trees down, Steve. That'd be fun. Get a little air over there too.
No, they've been supportive of a lot of historical projects, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, no, so it's definitely worth a conversation to start.
I will send a query.
That's perfect. I'm just looking to see where their funding might be at.
Mhm.
It'll give me a chance to use the tree warden letterhead that Devin Pelletier created for us.
That's great.
Oh,
Didn't need that photo up there anymore.
okay, yeah, I know what you were doing. So you have a fancy tree Logan letterhead. You have to. Do you have a good black felt pen to sign your name big?
I will get one.
Okay.
Okay, so historical commission. So is the next meeting and when is the next meeting?
2 weeks. Because we stayed on the schedule so that Anna's schedule wouldn't be disturbed.
Okay.
Okay, couple questions, Steve. Were you able to, I know you've been pretty busy, but at the last meeting, we talked about you're taking the snow rake over and to see if you thought somebody could use it within the courtyard without a ladder.
No, I know with the lack of ice and snow, I never brought one over there.
How practical.
It did flurry this morning though, Steve.
Yeah.
When I was at 7, so.
Oh, it was doing it at 3 too, but
Oh.
you had to have good eyes to see it.
And then the other question, Steve, was when we were over at the school today, the clean out covers on the underground downspouts. I was wondering if you had checked on those. You know, I had a concern that the drains would still be backing up, and you know, if the water was in the downspout and it froze, it could split the seams. Fortunately, I didn't find any split seams, and there was no water standing. But I'm assuming that those underground lines still haven't been cleaned out yet.
No, my the catch basin guy doesn't come till the end of April or early May.
Okay. And then the one last thing is, Becky, at the last meeting, we had broached the subject of possibly getting a drain cleaner auger that could do a lot of these things.
And I talked to Steve, and Steve said he could get one. So.
We
Do you
just-
know
Yeah.
how many feet you would need to be able to go, say, because the school I say, well, and the one at Town Hall, that goes pretty far down the back slope there. I mean, I was looking online and I saw that you could get them for 200 feet, and I don't know if that's enough.
That's probably what we need, huh?
Yeah,
the
because
school
Frank at his very first buildings committee meeting got to look at the as-built plans of the school, and he picked up on it right away that I thought the courtyard drained out the front, but it goes to the back.
When you say the back, the south side,
Yes, it goes underneath the library and out that way,
so it goes
and past under the kindergarten.
and under the playground.
I'm assuming that it's tied into the one that's on the corner, what would be the southwest, the second grade classroom, because that one where the gutter's attached runs down somewhere.
Hmm.
Do you think it all comes, I think it all dumps out into the field, doesn't it?
Field.
Or
And
where the house is, in the woods?
Who was talking about the new fire chief wanting to put a cistern out there?
And we were I think Bob brought it up at a building,
Yeah.
I mean, at a.
Yeah, but no, this is the last, maybe it was
I've talked about it at different times.
yeah, and I think it would be fun to get to look into this and get a few people on that and get school money and all that stuff, because it could be a way to, if all these drains were put in and they didn't think about things clogging, if the town was gonna invest in that type of cistern for the fire department, we could redo some of the lines and just have more clean outs. In other words, a clean out right at the building rather than snaking underneath it, and a few other things, and have an engineer. We go over the original plans, but have an engineer, have someone look at that, and that might be a way. If that's a future project, we can incorporate the fire department's funds, the school funds, and highway
Well, the fire
department funds.
department is just gonna get the project money. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if they're going to get the project money
project.
for the cisterns, that might be part of the thing. Updating cleanouts for the system so it's always working properly and it's always filled. Just a thought. Yeah, but we should get a hold of that.
But we
Yeah,
don't
because-
want to wait 2.5 years to clean out the drains.
No, we don't.
Right? I mean, it's taken 2.5 years so far to get this far.
Right. End of April, we're having a big party out at the elementary school. I'll bring the Weber grill out. We're gonna grill. We're gonna feed the pumping guy, and it's gonna all be done.
Right. Maybe he'll pump during town meeting. It can be a spectator thing.
Oh, if we're gonna do that, then let's make sure we get all the grease traps. That-
I wonder if they've ever been cleaned out. I bet
They
they have.
have the Matt has the kitchen ones done, but I don't think he any longer has the two in the art room done.
Hmm.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
So Steve, does that mean you can order the 200-foot? Is it called an auger? What's it called?
Snake.
Snake.
Yes.
Thank you. After you complete all these million hours.
Yep.
Okay, so we have about 3 minutes left.
Right. So I think it's probably easy to just close the meeting.
Okay. I motion we end the meeting.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? McGinn,
Aye.
Sullivan,
Sullivan, I.
Dalmas, aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Send this, write and send the request for an alternate for the fascia to be added to the bid docs. And then in the next week or less, I'll get some photos to you, Frank, and work on the intro letter.
Okay, sounds good,
And
Steve.
Becky, you're going to check on the asbestos issue at the dam keepers
Yep,
and
and
interface with Concom.
Concom
And
on
that's
that
also-
one, historical on my.
Yeah.
email.
Okay,
Great. Thank
Thank
you,
you all.
everyone.
For
Have a-
anyone
2
that's
weeks.
not aware, there's a fantastic road now at the lot 032, and there's a well drilling machine that's in the process of drilling a well out back.
How far
Is it
down
a-
have they gone?
can we go over and look at it, or are we not allowed on the, during
Just follow,
construction?
just follow the yellow brick road.
Just not when, just don't go out there when all the machines are moving at once.
Okay,
Steve,
Oh,
when
we're
I
done
was
with that.
when I was headed to the elementary school today, somebody or something had knocked one of the traffic cones over. So I stopped and put it back up, centered it.
Well, thank you. That would have been one of our slow moving residents that doesn't like the cones.
Oh,
okay, thank you all.
Right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Good night, thank you.
You're welcome. Good night.